is that freedom of religion and belief is the foundation of all freedoms. Because within this one right, you have all others incorporated. Freedom of religion and belief is an internal right. It is about your relationship, or lack thereof, with the divine. And freedom of religion and belief then therefore becomes the foundation of freedom of speech. Because if you cannot speak about your most fundamental beliefs, you have no freedom of speech. If you and others cannot gather to debate, to discuss, to worship, you have no freedom of assembly. If you cannot write about your most basic beliefs and share those in writing, you have no freedom of the press. And nowhere is this interaction more evident than with the Macedonian minority communities in southeastern Europe. The Macedonian minority communities are an unrecognized martyrs in the world today, both politically and religiously. By lack of an ability to self-identify, Macedonian minorities are denied their most basic right of self-identification. By lack of recognition of the hospitality of the Orthodox Church, the Church is denied its ability to self-identify, to self-act, and to carry out its most basic duties and responsibilities, which is to assist us in our relationship with the divine and to find salvation. Southeastern Europe is one of those historic human rights difficult areas, and I say that quite tentatively, for lack of a better term. Greece has, as far as I'm concerned, no concept of freedom of religion. There is the Greek Orthodox Church, and that's about it. Serbia is not much better. The Serbian Orthodox Church is the strong hand of religious politics in the state, and the state passes law after law after law to restrict the rights of religious minorities. The Bulgarian government interfered legally when the Bulgarian Orthodox Church had a breakaway group calling itself the Orthodox Church of Bulgaria. And so in argument that this was an issue over taxes and property rights, the Bulgarian parliament passed a law saying there can be only one Orthodox Church, and yeah, there's everybody else, but they don't really count. And Albania is not much better. The Macedonian community, as an ethnic minority and as a religious minority, fights on a daily basis for their most basic fundamental human rights that we take for granted here in Washington. We watch, more often than not, silently, as the community faces uphill battles across the region in being able to exercise the most fundamental, basic human rights. How dare we sit back silently when you cannot even call yourselves by your own name? How dare we sit back and not stand up when you cannot pray according to the dictates of your hearts, your minds, and your consciences? From restitution of property to repatriation, from the construction of religious property to self-identification as an assembly, these are the most fundamental basic rights of any individual human being. And when I hear leaders from the region, from the states in the region, tell me that great progress in democracy, and tell me, some of them, that democracy started with them, I ask them about you. Just for the record, more often than not, I'm not invited back. And on that, I'll tell a quick story as I finish. We talked about democracy starting in certain countries in the region. Within this one particular country, who shall remain nameless, there is a national festival upheld by the government tourism department called the Burning of the Jew, where in celebration of the Greek church, oops, I'm sorry, in celebration of the particular church of this country, there is a celebration honoring the burning of Judas that has come to be known as the burning of the Jew. This is not religious freedom, ladies and gentlemen. We have a duty and a responsibility, those of us who are not Macedonians, to stand by those of you who do fight every day for your most basic fundamental rights. And thanks to the great leadership of the United Macedonian Diaspora, you have a voice in Washington. You have a voice across the world that is respected, that is appreciated, and that is trusted. But I tell you this as well, that not just out of their leadership, but out of the sheer message that they carry, you also have friends. And what I ask, and more importantly what I beg, is that you call on us as your friends to stand by you, to stand with you, and to stand for you.